Morning, it's Michelle with Live Life Whimsically. Here on my channel, we talk about other content creators, paganism, witchcraft, real estate, current events, and politics, and whatever whim follows in my brain. Um, Doing the daily tarot draw. I'm glad you're here. If you find anything informational or funny, or you just want to leave a comment, it would be awesome if you would like and subscribe. Maybe share this video with somebody. I had made a commitment that I was going to go live every day and share my tarot draw. And I've added to that a daily devotional reading, Out of Pagan Every Day by Barbara Ardinger. I don't agree with everything that's in this book. And as we go through it together, I will tell you when I don't agree with everything. But I am finding it sort of interesting to have a devotional for a pagan person, since, excuse me, there are so many for other faiths and we get kind of left behind. If you draw your own cards, I would love for you to tell me what you get daily in your pull and what that card means to you. And I would like to hear any insights on the cards I draw and what I find in those cards. It's important that you look at your cards and use your book only as a reference and just see what stands out to you. And when I get to that portion of it, I will talk about my card that I got today, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Today's reading is obviously from January 6th. It's called Freya and Elvis. This should be interesting. The Saxons of Northern Europe called the first Monday after January 6th Plow Day, and on that day honored Freya, the Venus of the North. As a goddess who engages in indiscriminate sex, Freya is the spirit of the earth's fertility. Like Persephone, she is in the underworld during the winter, but early in January, we already see hints that she might be rising. We'll soon set our plows into the earth and plant our crops. In cold climates, Earth's wilder children are said to be sleeping through the winter. What everything looks like is dead. Trees and plants are bare, the sky is gray. Some wild animals are hibernating. Those that aren't have no breakthrough the snow and ice to find wisps of, let me do that again. Some wild animals are hibernating. Those that aren't have to break through the snow and ice to find wisps of food to eat, or they'll die. January can be a hard month. Freya is the leader of the Valkyries, warrior maidens who gather fallen heroes and carry them to Valhalla. Persephone is queen of the dead. Honor Freya and Persephone. Make love to someone you love. Have a feast, but don't be greedy. If you live where there are birds or squirrels or other critters, set something out for them too. Take a winter nap and ponder how similar sleep and death are. Reader, have you ever had a near-death experience? I once had an asthma attack that lasted all day. I was too busy to slow down and just kind of hope it would go away. Until two friends took me to the emergency room, I remember seeing the glass doors of the ER. The next thing I remember is floating around the ceiling and watching the hands of the clock move very, very slowly. I'm told I was gone for 20 minutes. Today is Elvis Presley's birthday. Is the king up and singing again? I have never had a near-death experience, but in 2020, I had COVID before anybody knew what it was. And I thought I was going to die then. And I have pondered how sleep is much like death. And death is something that I am very terrified of and have been my entire life. The older I get, I realize that there's not much I can do. And I just have to reconcile myself to it and start to enjoy my life. Years ago, having conversations about death would be something I couldn't do. When you live up north, you're lucky to have the seasons so that you can actually watch what, in my religion, is the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, because everything does that in nature. So it's easy to say that, to me, I think everything that breathes air and moves on the earth has some kind of a soul. So I feel like once you're out of this body, which is much like a vehicle, you can move into another body, you can go to another dimension, you can go to another planet, you can become life someplace else. And there's a lot physics that back that up, that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So I think that this is like the e-ticket ride, that we come to this planet to have a limited time to learn the lessons of love and community. And in my opinion, we don't do it very well. So today, my card was the Ace of Pentacles. Again, Pentacles is about earth energy, magic, money magic, home, family. And aces are always in the tarot card a very good card to draw. It's a yes answer. It's a positive thing about your growth. And the first thing that I noticed in this card was the roots coming out of her or their hands. And so I titled this, holding it in my hands. Isn't that what I said? What did I call it? I hold these roots in my hands. I did that on purpose because sometimes, actually most times, unless you're a really little person and you're not very, your prefrontal cortex isn't completely full and developed yet, you are the master. So to me, that's what this card is saying. I haven't read the description yet in my Light Seers deck, but I'm going to. It's, to me, you hold it. You are the master of that financial home life destiny. So the book says, the beginning of a new venture or tasks, new ideas, planting seeds for the future, great potential for success, manifesting power, ambitions, and prosperity. Freshly rooted beginnings. This ace is a powerhouse of possibility and reveals the materialization of earthly ambitions and all the wonderful things. When you seed your future by planting your very first intentions, things also feel so exciting, raw, and possible, don't they? Hold on to these feelings of optimism and success. For the new start that you are welcoming to your life right now has incredible potential to thrive. Your ace initiates a timeline where your future wealth, health, and material abundance are ushered in. By figuring out your soil conditions, your watering schedule, and the needs of this unique seed, you will be able to see it through to fruition. Bring your determination and dedication and see your abundance spring to life in the form of successful outcomes, material and financial wins, and soul satisfying well being. With this wonderful message for good things to come, it's time to visualize, attract, prioritize, and act. I plan my goals with intention, direct focus, and faith. So I want to tell you something about this card, okay? Oh, sorry. It's the Ace of Wands. That's not the same. Never mind. I'm sorry. I was thinking of another deck while I was reading this, but the Ace of Pentacles is exactly what I said. And with what I'm going through in my life, it's a wonderful positive message about me taking the reins, me holding it in my hands, me cultivating the life that I want for myself without other people really dictating much into it. So I'm going through a divorce, okay? I wasn't going to talk about this, but it just seems like I'm missing out on explaining certain wonderful magical inclinations that or intuitions that are coming from going through this. To understand how important it is that I am cultivating and I am holding and I am planting and I am watering and I am figuring out that is to me, you have to understand how I came from a very patriarchal home where I was told how things were going to be and married two very masculine and very patriarchal men, one who didn't really think he was and the other who did and thought that that was the way to be. I had went from parents to spouses. My marriage has been over for many, many years, and we've only just decided to put the pin in it. I have not lived there for a while. I have not, and when I did, I didn't live in the same room with him for almost a decade. I, in that time, started dating somebody else probably, well, it's been almost like 12 or 13 years since I shared a bedroom, and it's been over 6 months or so since I moved out of the house. But probably 7 years ago, I met somebody and started dating them. And I was kind about it with my spouse and told him, what I was going to do. And I let him decide whether or not he thought my guy was good enough or not. And I've been with this man now for 7 years. The difference between this man and the spouse is that he's if you ask him for his opinion, he'll give it to you, but he will not tell you what to do. And if I said in the early days of our relationship, what made me really pay attention to this wonderful quality of him allowing me to grow and become the person that I am today was that I said to him one time, well, you made me do this. And I don't even know what it was about. And he looked at me and he said, I didn't make you do anything. I was going to do it. I asked if you wanted to come along for the ride. You did it. And don't tell me that I did that, because I did not. You could have just as easily said no. And I don't think that I ever knew that I had the autonomy to make those kinds of decisions for myself before. I was nearly 55 years old when I realized I could say no to things. And it still took a really long time for me to be able to actually say that. I think only at the end of last year when we were out camping, we were doing some things, and I did not want to do some of the things that he wanted to do. And I pretty much said, you can do whatever you want to do, bruh, and I'm going to hang out with you, but I am not going to do that thing with you. And the way that we're going to handle the rest of the evening after we do this thing together is you can do what you want to do, but I might be running around by the fire. And if you don't want to come, that's okay. He was really good with that. And it was the first time that I ever had that I felt that freedom of autonomy to actually be myself. So understanding that the messages I'm getting from these cards is just astounding to me. So I think that's really all I got to say about all of that stuff. If you choose to draw a card and you see this later, I would really, really like if you would put it in the chat box what you got and what you see. I would like to know what your interpretation of the Ace of Pentacles is as well. And I think that on Sunday, when I pull that card, I think I'm just going to go do a little review of the whole week and see if we see a little story go up in there. Plus, today's the full moon, and I need to do something for that full moon. And I haven't really done much with the writing of my ritual and all of that. I got a tablet, and I got a notebook that I can write in the tablet, the electronic tablet. But the pen that came with my tablet is not very conducive and very frugal. So I don't want to, spend any more money on something that I may or may not use. So if you guys do anything like that, let me know. And I hope you have an outstanding Friday, and I hope you come back tonight to watch me and Ballora do our discussion. Have a great day. Peace out.